What is up, Cougar Nation? Mitch Harper with Dallen Graff here at the BYU football indoor practice facility here in Provo, Utah. Day 6 is in the books for BYU football, and we didn't get to see practice today. We did have a team photo session that we got to witness, which was a lot of fun. Team Picture Day used to be at the stadium years ago. They transitioned it over to the indoor practice facility. I kind of miss the days of it being in the stadium, but nonetheless, it's always a fun day. We didn't get the Michael Shelton, Motikai, Longi, or Monga moment where it's big and tall, but nonetheless, it was a fun day, good social media content.
Well, it was big and tall when I was standing next to Blake Freeland, I'll tell you that. No, I mean, it's good to see everyone out here. They're looking sharp. There's just a good feel around the team right now, as they get into just about a week of fall camp. Good energy about them. Players seem excited, ready to continue working and get prepared for USF.
Yeah, 3 weeks away, BYU is going to have the Bulls in Tampa, and we were talking with Caleb Hayes about that matchup, and it's kind of wondering about the possibility of humidity, if that's going to be creeping into the minds of the guys at all. And he said it's not really a big of an issue for him. He said he's just excited to go to Florida for the first time. So I guess that's pretty cool. But this team, there's not many questions in the rest of camp. I think it's just a matter of stay healthy, kind of fine-tune things as they head in their first scrimmage coming up on Saturday. I think you look at the back end of the secondary, maybe that safety spot, shore that up, maybe identify clearly who the top 5 are on the offensive line. But really, there's not many questions for this team. They know who their top guys are. Just keep them healthy, and you're going to have a great chance to win a lot of ball games this year.
Yeah, it's about getting a lot of guys back and fully healthy and reintegrated again. A lot of the linebacker group, Keenan Peely, Peyton Wilgar, a lot of guys that dealt with injury last year are getting slowly back into the groove of things. I think on Saturday after that first scrimmage, we'll really see more of that solidified unit, more playing time for those guys. And not only that, but as you said, testing out the depth and some of those second-team units.
What do you think is the biggest question mark for this team right now?
I think it's still the defense. I think it's just how the front seven, mainly the defensive line, is going to shake out. Who's going to be the stars on that. We know the names, not a lot of new names there, but just simply who's going to emerge, who's making a leap. Is it Tyler Batty? Is it some of those interior guys? Earl Tuioti Mariner, who I know you're very high on. A lot of talent there. Just how that shakes out, I think, is still probably the biggest question so far.
Yeah, defensive line's interesting because you're right. I mean, who is that star? I think Batty's got the makings, everything about him, the way he's built. I mean, one of the things about picture days, you just kind of see these guys in their uniform and there's no pads. So you kind of see, it's almost like the combine where it's like all these scouts and GMs are just kind of, sizing these men up like they're just their long arms, the quick twitch, like you just size them up. It's like just the raw measurables. Because sometimes a guy can look different with the pads. They can look different in the cleats. This is all just basically sandals, tennis shoes. You're just seeing this is what they look like. And he's got a big football team. I mean, these guys are some big guys. And defensive line, Batty looks the part. And I think even Earl Tuioti Mariner, now that he's fully healthy, like you said, I think that he's someone that's due for a big final year as well. But again, who is that? You're trying to get ready for the Big 12. Who is that all Big 12 guy right now? I don't know if there is one. And I think that's a question, that's an issue for BYU because games in college football at the Power 5 level are won in the trenches. I don't know if they've got an all Big 12 guy along the defensive line. Now, the offensive line, Kingsley Suamataia is going to be an all Big 12 guy. Connor Pay could be an all Big 12 guy. So that's the difference. And that's why I think there's such a bullish outlook on the offense, whereas the defense, that's where there's a lot of questions. Elisa Tuiaki today was asked if he is, stressed at all about the, questioning of his defense. He said he's not worried about it at all. Took the right answer there. But it's going to be a situation where I don't think anyone's going to be fully comfortable with that defense until they prove it coming up in big games this season.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the one other position that I still think there's some questions is the running back group. Not that there's not talent there or somebody to emerge. It seems like Chris Brooks is going to be that guy, but there's a lot of talent behind him. Miles Davis has looked good in the time that we've seen him. Jackson McChesney, you were speaking about the eye test today. Seeing him up and close in person, he looked a little bigger, a little thicker. There's some good talent behind Chris Brooks there. How does that all play out? Is it, an RB1 who's taking all the carries and guys behind him? Is it more of a committees or third down back? I'm curious to see how that forms over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, honestly, I think in an ideal situation, Brooks just becomes the feature back. But at the same time, you got to have maybe a little bit of a vision towards the future, because Brooks is only a one-year guy. And if you can give valuable reps to McChesney, you got to pick your spots maybe if you're Aaron Roderick. Now, you're not going to sacrifice any game this year, but still, I think there needs to be an opportunity found for a Davis or McChesney to get playing time, because Brooks is going to need a breather, but I think he's ultimately going to be the guy that becomes that reliable third and short guy. And I think that, Brooks is been getting rave reviews for the way he's played in fall camp, and I expect nothing short of a lot of success. I've been on the record. I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher this year. I think Brooks is going to be outstanding for BYU. Saturday, the scrimmage is going to take place at LaVell Edwards Stadium. We're not going to have observation period, which is unfortunate. Wish we could see that, because, you think about it, there's so many returning guys. You're not going to reinvent the wheel, okay? Like BYU is who they are, and that's a good football team. That's a top 25 caliber team. So it's unfortunate we don't get to see much. But Kalani Sitake did lay out some of the objectives. Playing fundamental football is what he wants to see, and I think that's honestly what you want to expect. I think the bigger thing, just stay healthy. You don't want to have some devastating injury in a fall camp. I think you err on the side of caution. These are the spots where if you're going to be Aaron Roderick and pick the spots to keep someone out, I think it's in these situations. You don't risk Puka. You don't risk, heck, even Jaren Hall to step in some divot on the field or whatever it may be. You don't want any risk of that. You just kind of get through that scrimmage, let some of the younger guys like the McChesneys, like the Miles Davises get the reps, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, you mentioned Jaren. The last takeaway I had just from today is just his presence walking around the team. I just saw a number of players kept coming up to him, joking about him. You could tell he is a leader on this team. He's well liked, well received, and obviously he proved himself last year. I think that's the biggest thing. You could tell they had confidence in him and in his abilities as a quarterback, but he's earned this role. He's earned this leadership position now in this 2022 season, and you could tell the team has a lot of confidence in him.
It's a good point. I mean, Jaren's a presence that he commands respect. I think he's got an impressive presence about him, and I think that we've been given rave reviews about his potential this year. Cougar Sports Saturday, KSLSports.com. I think we're pretty bullish on the outlook of Jaren Hall in 2022. I just wonder, though, I guess one question I have for Jaren is, what is he going to? Can he just completely exceed what he did last year, just to the point where it's wow moments? Because you look at last year, and I think one of the reasons why so many around college football nationally are not giving Jaren the due that he deserves is he didn't have necessarily those wow moments outside of maybe that Baylor touchdown run where he's beating down the guy that ran a 4.3 or whatever at the combine. Just those eye-popping numbers, massive throws. Can he do that? I think those are the sort of things that if he can just show those huge, big-time play flashes, it's going to serve him well, and I think it's going to put a little more respect on his name, too, because I think that he's also going to win a lot of ball games, too, for BYU. But that's going to do it here from BYU Football Fall Camp Day 6. The team photo day is in the books. Smile for the camera. We'll have a loaded show coming up on Saturday. We're going to have interviews with Puka Nacua. We're going to have also, Ben Bywater. It's going to be fun. We'll have Dave McCann stop by as well. So for Dallen Graff, Mitch Harper, check out all the coverage on KSLSports.com. And there's Jaren walking behind the camera right now, QB1. We'll talk to you next time here at BYU Football Fall Camp on KSLSports.com.